I am forever grateful to be an artist, an author, and an Avon lady. I know a lot of you didn't know that I'm an Avon lady, but I have been for 6 years. And as we go through life, we tend to meet very special people. It can be, for me, it can be a customer that I meet. It can be in my art booth, which happens a lot and has happened for years upon years upon years on end. And it's just very, very amazing, some of the divine stories that end up happening. And I have one special one that this Christmas I really wanted to share with you out of gratitude to all of you, and just in gratitude in general to finally be feeling healthy this year, even though I'm nursing a little cold right now. But those are the small things in life. During the Christmas season especially, the days get full of hustle and bustle, and especially when you're in sales or services of any kind. But along the way, we are blessed with meeting special people. Those people that share themselves in such a way, and they leave a lasting imprint upon our souls inside of us. And those are the people we tend to remember. I met one of these very, very special people about 6 years ago when I started selling Avon. She was one of my first Avon customers. Her name was Minnie Burks, and she was about 96 years old. A wonderful, wonderful little lady. I just loved her to pieces. Without fail, Minnie would give me $10 and $15 orders once a month, and oftentimes twice a month, which was almost every campaign with Avon, because we place an order every 2 weeks. So even though this was a very small amount, it meant a lot to me, especially being a new Avon lady. Orders that she would place, she would buy these little jars of skincare, and oftentimes they had different scents of perfume in them, and she loved buying these all year long. So at Christmas time, she would have a big box of these, and she could give them to her friends and her family, and she just loved Christmas so much. And so she bought these all year long. That's just how special Minnie was. And I will always remember the very first time that I came to her little home around Christmas time. And she had this little tree. Truly, it was probably only, maybe about 3-4 feet tall. It's just gorgeous little tree. And it twirled around. It had this little motor that twirled the whole tree around. I'd never seen anything like it. And it had fiber optics. Now, I'd seen fiber optics, and if you've seen them too, then you know how they change colors. And so to see this little tree spin round and round, and it had these little changing colors, and she just had little tiny ornaments, and each one was something special to her. And we sat there probably for a good half hour, 45 minutes, on my first Christmas of being her Avon lady, talking about this magical little tree. And I told her, I said, Minnie, that is the most beautiful little tree I have ever seen. And she told me how one of her neighbors had thrown that out in the trash years and years ago. And she saw it sitting out at the curb. And so she called up her neighbor and said, hey, Miss Such and Such, I see that you're throwing out that little Christmas tree. Can I have it? And her neighbor said, well, of course, I don't need it anymore. And so Minnie went and fetched that tree. And that's how she said it. I went out there and I fetched that tree, and I've had it for Christmas ever since. Well, you could just tell the love that she had for that tree, and all the little stories about some of the ornaments that she had. It was just dear to my heart. After 3 Christmases with Minnie, it came the next year. It was probably around maybe May or June, and I called her to see if she was ready to place her order, and she had to tell me, she said, honey, I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to be able to put in an order this time, and it might be another month before I can do another one, because she had a family member that had come down with cancer, and she wanted to be able to give her money to the family member that needed some medical. Life has a way of flowing its own pathways. And week by week, I seldom found myself traveling down her road again. That particular Christmas, I knew that she had been very ill. I wasn't even sure if she was at home or not. But I was driving, and I had this wonderful idea. I thought, I have a few of those hand creams, and I think I would like to gift those to her, because certainly Christmas meant so much to her, and she could give those away to her family. And this is something that I really wanted to do. And so I was driving down the road, and it brought a smile to my face as I'm driving down the road, and I thought, I will do that. I didn't write it down, and it soon flew right out of my mind. The next thing I knew, Christmas was here, and I had not given my gift of generosity to her. I missed my opportunity to give back to her for those several years of ordering Avon. And many never saw another Christmas. And it's been 3 years now since that happened. But God and the angels have a way of helping you in ways that you could not. I have to fast forward to the following summer. And it was a beautiful sunny day, and I was out making a few deliveries, and I wasn't even near where she lives. I was several miles away. But for some reason, Minnie was on my mind that day. And I even thought about kicking myself in the rear end and beating myself up, because I was still not happy with myself that I had forgotten to do this thing that might have made her Christmas so special, like she had made mine special. And I was still beating myself up about driving this. And I'm telling Minnie, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I didn't do this for you. It's something I really wanted to do, and I didn't do it. Well, I had plenty of Avon deliveries I was still out doing, but the day was sunny, and I really felt like perhaps God was shining upon me through those sun rays, as He often does. And I saw this garage sale sign, and I went to this garage sale thinking, yes, I need to get my mind cleared and get my little tears dried up here before I see a customer's house. So, I patted my face. I stopped at this garage sale. And there were these two men that were having the sale. One of the men was the homeowner, and he was getting rid of a lot of stuff because he was moving. And the other gentleman, I believe his name was Roger. He was a chatterbox, and he was an excellent salesperson. I'm telling you, you would have really enjoyed going to this garage sale. As I went around browsing some of the tables that he had some items out, I would pick up a little item, and he would tell me all the reasons why I needed to buy that item and what it would be useful for and what I needed it for. He was a real genuine character, and just a real pleasure to be around. Well, I ended up buying this little vase and a mirror. And so while I'm leaving the garage sale and I'm on my way to my vehicle, from behind me, Roger is still chattering away and probably picking up things and saying, oh, you need this, you need that. Well, I have no doubt he had it in his hand, and from behind me, I could hear him talking. Said, hey, don't you need this little fiber optic Christmas tree? It twirls around, And it's a beautiful little thing, and it works because I plugged it in this morning. Believe me, he had my full attention. I turned around and I said, "Really?" I couldn't believe it. And I walked up there with the largest smile and beaming face I am sure that anyone has ever seen. And in that sunshine right there in that driveway, I was handed a little fiber optic Christmas tree, just like Minnie had. Now, given the fact that I had been beating myself up and I had told her, "I'm sorry," and I had put that out there on such a divine level, just talking and crying in the car, there's just no other way that I can look at that than to know that that was a divine message for me. Forgive yourself. Just forgive yourself. God and the angels forgive you. Obviously, Minnie forgives you. If she's an angel up there, she forgives you. And I learned so much that day. I learned so much. And that beautiful little tree I had up for the very first time last year. And last year, God knows I needed it, because last year I was dealing with my rare disease and I couldn't hardly go anywhere for the holidays, and I had to wear a mask everywhere I went so that I wouldn't get other people's germs. And last Christmas was not very, very joyful. And last Christmas, Tom, my husband, even had to work that day. But I had that little tree, and I had the magical story that came with it that embraced me all that day of Christmas Day. I also wanted to share with you that this year I found this little ornament, and it's an angel holding a Christmas tree. And so what I've decided to do, I'm going to write on the back, "Thank you, Minnie." Because truly, she had the spirit of Christmas through her little tiny tree. And she gave that spirit of Christmas back to me. And now I hope to share it with you. And if you have any stories to share, I hope that you will think about making a video and sharing them with the world. We need beautiful, divine, true stories like this more than we need disastrous news and so forth. Please share your story. Thank you, Minnie. Merry Christmas.